before I forget, I don't want to leave Bob Hampshire out. You had a long, long run with him in the '63 car, both on the all across the board, the midget sprints and the Silver Crown,
Late models.
and late models. Your thoughts on him?
Oh, he's what Steve and Carl Kinzer were. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, they were.
For
Carl was to Steve as Bob
Yeah.
was to you.
Yes, the Hampshire, for him and I mean, like I drove for him. Schrader had to leave one day, and I drove for him, and Eldora was leading the feature in '84, crashed. Leading the feature, I hit the wall and turned 3 and 4. So he asked me, he said, "Hey, you want to drive my race car?" Well, Hamp, he's old tight ass. He only paid his drivers 30%. And I said, "Hamp, I can't. I'd drive for 40." So he hired Hodenshield. Well, then Hodenshield ran the rest of the rail that year. And we go to the next year. He said, "All right, I'll pay you your 40%. Well, him and I got together, and if the car was a little bit off, I would carry it. If I was a little bit off, Hampshire had the car perfect. And when we was both right, it was just sorry about their luck. It was our year. 85 was Hamp and I's year. 86, 87 wasn't bad, but 85, we won 30 features. 27 of them was with Hamp. You know what I'm saying? And the others was some rides I picked up along the way. But we won 27 features that way. We won 20 the next year and felt cheated, But,
Yeah.
But Hampshire, I like it right now. Cody Swanson beat my record in the Silver Crown.
Yep.
And everything. But when you talk about Jack Hewitt, immediately it's Bob Hampshire. If you talk about Bob Hampshire, it's Jack Hewitt, And that's kind of the way it's been. And I'm proud to say that I'm part of it. The best one we got coming up, July 3rd coming up here, is Shane Helms. I talked to him, and that's the Hewitt Classic.
Is that Waynesfield?
At Waynesfield.
Okay.
So he said, "Well, Jack," he said, "well, do you mind going and having the Hampshire Classic with it?" I said, "No." I said, "I've carried him all these years. What's another night going to be?" But so now we got the Hampshire and the Hewitt Classic the same night.
That's
What
cool.
a deal. Yeah, I mean, that's just a compliment to me. And I hope Hamp feels the same way,
Yeah. How long was your run with him?
Well, I'd get mad and pout and I'd quit. And then, he'd hire me back and then I quit. I think off and on, I don't know. It probably had to be 5, 6, 7 years. Well,
Yeah, they were good 5, 6, 7
it had to
years.
be on that because, I had some rides in between, but when I got hurt in '93 was in Hamp's car. Well, he hired me again in '94, so it was still going then, I mean, it went for quite a while, Hamp and I did, and we're still great friends today.
You said you got hurt in '93, '94?
'93.
Where was that
At
at?
the 4 Crown at Eldora. We just won the midget sprint.
Okay.
And we had the sprint car feature 1, had about a straightaway on Tony Elliott, and then, what was the name? Brett Mann flipped and hit the wall. I was laughing and he landed on me and broke my neck and my arm and everything else. And I mean, he apologized. He called me at the hospital. "Man, if I'm flipping, I ain't never had control one."
Yeah, no doubt.
Optional.
But yeah, so that was, you said '93,
Mm-hmm.
and how long was it before you were back in the seat?
That spring.
Because you said you broke your arm and your neck.
Yep. I had a halo for 3 months. So I got it off in December, I think. And of course, then '94, January 6th, I think Mr. Hunt passed away. And then
He was your sponsor, was
Yeah.
it J.W. Hunt?
J.W. Hunt, yep, the wild man, the strawberry man.
He was
And
quite a fixture.
Oh, yeah.
Was he from Troy?
No, he's from Plant City, Florida.
Because you got the strawberry thing. In fact, I'm a week late on the strawberry festival here.
Well, but if you go out west of town right now, you can get some of the best strawberries and the best sweet corn ever. I don't know if the sweet corn's not in season yet, but Fulton Farms outside there on 202 is awesome.
Yeah. So you came back from that injury, and then, do I have it right? You got hurt again in 2002?
Correct.
What happened? What happened with that one?
We was down at North Vernon and
North Vernon.
yeah, Indiana.
Yeah.
And
Home of Pat O'Connor.
yes, and we was down there, and anyway, we turned around and we missed the show through our heat race where we're in the B main, and we was running the B main, and we just went into a transfer spot, and we passed Dickie Gaines, and he was trying to block a little bit, just because that was his dad's race, he wanted to be in it, and clipped my wheel, and I flipped, and that's the one that messed me up. That screwed us up.
Yeah. Was that the end of your career then? After that crash in '02? Was that the
Yes,
end of it?
but I think I've ran 3 races. I ran Eldora there 5 years ago or something like that in the Silver Crown race, and then I ran a couple sprint car races.
Hmm.
But basically that was the end of it.
And no regrets. We're
Yeah,
all
heck
right.
no.
That's cool. You know, you've been in Troy, Ohio all your life. You're still here. Do you have any childhood or boyhood friends here that go back right from the beginning for you that you still communicate with?
I, my one friend I went to school, we met in third grade. He just bought a place in Florida on the opposite side of town. The guy that I grew up with over in Pleasant Hill, we're still friends. Nick Gwynn, I knew since the fourth grade. He's probably one of my best friends too. And y'all, I stay in touch with a lot of them. We like I said, a lot of my friends and I, we still hang out.
That's cool. And lifelong pals. I mean, you don't have to pull any punches with those people. You can be well. You're Jack Hewitt
Yeah.
wherever you go. You have that part figured out. But some people put on the dogs according to who they're around and that sort of thing. But when you're with your childhood friends, the ones that know you in and out so well, you can. That's the beauty of it. You can be exactly who you are, and they're okay with it.
Absolutely, and of course, like I said, I get around people. If you don't like the way I am, just don't come around. It ain't no big deal, because I'm gonna hang around with people. I'm gonna have fun no matter what I do, and that's why a lot of people still want to come around today, because we're gonna have fun regardless. Like we go to Florida now for the winter. The COVID came in. Man, we take 50-mile golf cart rides down there through these dirt roads, or because there's a lot of dirt roads down there. Knowing where the bars and the restaurants are, but we make a day of it down there for that. We go fishing. We got a little bar right outside of our house. Our bar, we call it a cracker house. It's just a little building outside our house. We got our own bar there, karaoke. We're singing full, and I can't sing a lick. But that don't stop me from getting out there doing it, I mean, somebody's got to laugh at somebody, so I'll be the one.
Oh, that's awful sporty of you. I forgot to ask you, did you prefer a heavy, a real heavy track with a big old fat cushion to lean on, or were you the dry slick expert?
Well, when I was younger, I was a cowboy, so I didn't care.
Didn't matter.
No, but then later on, the older you get, the more you like the smooth, dry, slicky, because it slows the kids down and they come back to you, to your age. And that's like at the foreground at Eldora, Tracy Hines made the comment that, like, I don't know how you passed me. He said, I'm running the fence at Eldora, flat-footing it, He said, you drive by me. Well, I was straight, what I'm saying, and he was sideways. And just so, and that's how we won the others, just different because we were straighter, where the kids are sideways and things like that. And that just helped us through our deal, that and knowing Eldora.
Well, is it safe to say Eldora is your favorite track?
Without a doubt.
No debate on that.
No. I mean, I liked all racetracks, but Eldora was number one.
Yeah, there is something special about that place. It really is the granddaddy of all dirt tracks.
Yeah.
It always was, and it still is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hampshire and I tried to buy New Bremen back in '86 or '87, and Earl, I think he wanted 83,000. I think was the time back then, which would have been cheap.
Wow.
But then when we was serious about it, he said, well, how about me just renting it to you? So he just wanted us to rent it, fix it up, and then when we couldn't handle it no more, him take it back. Well, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
But New Bremen would still be going today, probably, if that would have happened.
Well, I was driving by New Bremen a year or so ago, maybe a little more. I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to see what the place was
Yeah.
because I went there as a kid, and don't tell the next guy, but I hopped the fence and
Yeah.
I went up. I crawled up the hill, and I'm about ready to look at the track, and it's now like this
Yeah.
test session for the Crown Equipment Corporation has they test forklifts back
Yeah.
there and such, But it was an interesting experience to look at it and see what it is now.
How about Tri-County? Did you ever drive by that when you're down that way?
I never have. I did go there as a kid when it was paved track and dirt.
Yeah.
Back in the late '60s, early '70s. What is it now, by the way?
The truck training deal for semi. That's where they train. If you just get off, go down there. That's where they train you to learn how to drive semi.
But there's nothing left that would say there was a track here.
I think you can still kind of tell. Last time I was there, you could anyway. But it's been a while since I've stopped.
Because New Bremen, I looked at it and, it was all industrialized and it
Yeah.
was hard to tell, but you could faintly look off into the grassy area and you could see still where the backstretch was as it swept around into turn three. You could still see the contour of the land. Um, and that was interesting. Um, that Lost Speedway stuff's kind of popular. I did that with a few tracks in Indiana. Mitchell Speedway, I did. I went and found it. I went and crawled through the woods just on the other side of Salem, Indiana, and found the old American Legion Speedway, which raced in the 1920s. I found where the old grandstand was. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Well, see, Troy had two racetracks. We had one north of town, out by the incinerator now, and they had to actually race through a creek there. That was the first one. Then they built one south of town, Boone Hill. That was a little more popular, and I think the last time they ran that would have probably been probably around 59, 60, somewhere like that.
Wow. So those tracks are long gone.
Long gone.
Yeah, yeah. What about the future of racing? I mean, as the world changes quickly, does racing have a future? I mean, are they going to be all electric cars? I mean, where are we going with this?
Well, we can't do electric cars. I mean, they say they got a lot of power and everything else, but they're not just. The noise is half the battle. I mean, can you imagine getting in an argument and nobody will be able to hear anybody? There wouldn't be an argument. Well, that's the same thing with a car. The noise is what is half the excitement about racing. It can get you buzzed up a little bit, just the noise. Well, electric cars, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be interesting to see how that shakes out. I can't imagine just hearing nothing but, tire noise at Eldora Speedway. But who knows? Stranger things. And then I'm getting down to it here. Do you, the world's kind of messy. Right? You guys can chat and talk. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Chime right in if you
Don't
want.
tell him that because he won't shut up.
Oh, really? You got that
He
Jack
talks
Hewitt
more than I
trace in
do,
you that
yeah,
you just never stop talking, do
He
you?
talks more than I do.
I'm good at it.
You're pretty good at. That's funny. This guy's pretty good at it too. So the world seems like it got messy over the last year. Do you keep up with world news, national news?
Oh,
Do you
anymore,
care? Do you pay
yeah,
attention to it?
yeah. I never cared about politics when I was younger, but now I pay a little more attention.
Now you're paying attention
Yeah,
to it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Did
yeah.
you get my sticker out in the yard? You did tape that, didn't you?
Yeah, something about Trump.
Yeah, it says, "Don't blame me. I voted for Trump."
Right. I did catch that in the way in.
The thing about it, the only problem I got is back before. I mean, half my friends got to be Democrats, and you could talk about this crazy stuff, and you laugh about it, and then you go on. Next year you vote it, and it's different. Well, now, when you vote, the Democrats are actually starting to affect my life big time. They're affecting the country, which is going to get my grandkids. To me, at 70, they can't bother me.
But you're concerned about your grandchildren.
Absolutely, and my boy, absolutely, and all the kids, And the bad thing is these 21-year-old, 22-year-old that's voting them in. It just don't like, they're biting their noses, bite their face, but Americans are tough. They'll survive that.
By the way, I drove by a grade school called Haywood Grade School.
Uh-huh.
Did you go there?
Yeah. We lived in I don't know what you call it, the community there for the poor people anyways. I flunked third grade.
You flunked
And,
third grade?
I didn't flunk it. I had to go to summer school, and I went to Concord, which is right out here a little way. And my mom, she sent me to Haywood for summer school for a while. They didn't have summer school. I went to 2 weeks of Bible school there.
Oh,
So I had to do the third grade.
no wonder
every
all
day.
those prayers in turn
Yeah,
one and turn three.
So that's where the Haywood come into me, but I never went there.
No, okay. Did you get along well with your father, or did you guys butt heads?
My dad was my best friend.
Was he?
He lost it. When I lost my dad, it was a big deal because he was my dad, but he was my best friend, I'd taken him to California quite a few times with me. Australia, he went over there with me, and what happened, when Dad quit racing, he kept racing through me, and we had so much fun together. We went everywhere together and did a lot of things, so yeah, my dad and I. Now, he drank, I never drank, I wasn't much of a drinker or nothing, and he'd get so mad, or I'd get mad at him, but tomorrow we're usually good shape,
Yeah. Do you, how long has he been gone again? I'm sorry?
He's 97.
97.
Father's
Okay,
Day
a year
97.
before you competed in the Indy 500. Yeah, we covered that. Um, do you still find yourself thinking about him? I mean, does he come to your mind daily? I mean, do you think about your dad a lot?
I'm not a cemetery kind of guy. Well, you know where the cut is at Eldora on the front straightaway there?
I do.
And the Victor Circle?
Mm-hmm.
That little bit of grass?
Yep.
My mom and dad's right there. So whenever I go to Eldora, I'm thinking of mom and dad.
Did your mom pass before your dad?
No, she died in 2002.
Oh, okay.
She died after I.
Three,
Yeah. She must have died in 2003 because it was after I got hurt.
Was she a big supporter of your racing career? I mean,
Oh, that poor lady. She had to put up with dad, my little brother, and me all racing at
oh
one
my
time.
God. She should get some sort of award or
Yeah,
something. Or
she would just stand out behind the grandstand and just see you going by real quick that little section, and then she come to Indy on Corporation Day after it was all over with. She never did come to the race or nothing like that.
Was that because she was nervous about her kid racing? Or?
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a mommy's boy. People don't believe that, but I was a mommy's boy, and she didn't want to see her baby get hurt.
Understood. I've got kids. I can only imagine. I mean, did racing? How'd you deal with the fear factor? Did racing ever scare you? Did you just brush it aside? I mean, you can get hurt in these things.
Well, the year that I got hurt in '93. Well, see, my dad lost his eye at Eldora Speedway. Well, he was in the hospital for a week. The very following week, he got out. He went to Limeland to race 2 weeks after he lost his eye. But he had his old open face helmet on. The third week, Nickel Brothers went and bought him a full face helmet. He won the feature at Limeland 3 weeks after that. Well, when I got hurt the first time, it killed the sixth nerve in my eye, and like I said, it shot straight in. So when I run in '94, I'd put gray tape over my eye because I have double vision. I wore a patch. But then I found out if I put gray tape over it, I could see out the side. So if somebody was out there, I could at least see that part of it.
For a little peripheral vision.
Yeah, for a little bit. And anyways, we ended up, because I couldn't let my dad outdo me, so I had to race Eldora like that. We won the USAC feature and the modified feature at Eldora with the patch, with that tape on my eye. And after the deal was all over with, Hamp come up and said they disqualified it because we had water in the tank. Wasn't no nitro, none of it was water. But back then the rules said you wasn't allowed to have water because it was a booster, and so it cost me a race there. But I wasn't smart enough to realize, the pain part, you just go with it and go on, and you just don't think that much about it. You want to race, that's all you want to do.
Yeah, but I know when you take away one eye, as I understand it, you do lose a portion of your depth perception. And when you're 120 mile an hour in a sprint car, I'm thinking depth perception is probably important.
Evidently, my Eldora radar was out because, like I said, I've hit every part of that wall, and we won the feature, even though they took it from us. We beat everybody that night.
Yeah. What was the hardest crash you ever had? The one you got hurt in, or?
The hardest one that I can just flat remember was at Wayne County Speedway. I was driving Nickel Brother car, and I hit a car. He spun out. I flipped up and landed right on my top, just straight, as flat as you could. And man, I thought it broke every bone in my body. It didn't, but it jarred me worse,
I bet.
We did a lot of them, and like I said, when I crashed Leland at Eldora at that CRA race, it knocked me out. But I guess I was still talking, walking, and doing all that. And I'm laying in the van, and I told Mr. Hunt, I come to, and I said, hey, I got to go tell Leland I'm sorry. And he said, well, you already did. I said, no, now I got to go tell him where I know I did it, And,
right.
And so, but the lights were on, but nobody was definitely home.
Leland McSpadden.
Yeah.
He was a good shoe.
Yes, he was.
CRA star.
And he was a fan favorite, too, for the same
Yeah.
reason. He liked everybody.
Did you ever race against Dean Thompson?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He was kind of a one-arm guy.
Yeah, well, he just had a short arm, and
Yeah.
and if you looked at his steering wheel, it just kind of curved up,
Yeah.
It was a pretty neat little deal the way they come up with it. But yeah, he was a driver. He drove the Bromie car there for a long time. This is where Cody and I raced at Terre Haute together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was 16. He ended up flipping the two-seater out of the ballpark that night. And
Wow.
and this is when he ran for Tony Stewart in them mini cup cars they call them. They still
Yeah.
have them today. And that's when he ran for Tony, and this where Caden got to go to Indy.
Oh, cool.
And that was for the autograph session. We just took him again this year for the race, and he was pretty tickled. And that like I said,
I
that was
remember that picture.
that's only like 8 miles from here.
Really?
Yeah. And he just,
What is this? Hewitt's Law.
oh, you never seen that?
Jack Hewitt. Is that? Oh, that's Argabright's book. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
A couple pictures I think that we can find in there anyway.
Yeah, I'll take some pictures of that.
But now that's when Cody, my buddy from Australia, bought him that one. But this helmet here, that I'm wearing, with that picture with Cody up there.
You're wearing it
Yeah, I'm wearing that one.
in the
then-
two-seater.
Yeah, no, I'm in the red car.
Oh,
Cody-
you're in the red car.
Cody's in the
Cody's
two-seater.
in the two-seater. Okay.
And he's still got that helmet too. Caden will have them both one day, which is pretty exceptional.
Did you know Opperman?
Yeah, but I didn't like him because he had a pothead.
Oh.
Yeah, I was anti-drug, still am, and even though they're trying to legalize it. But yeah, and now, like I said, Doc Miller out of Florida and Rich Level, you know, they're great Aquaman fans. Well, they kind of adopted me in his place.
Rich Level.
Yeah.
He drove that Welch Sprinter, the
Yep,
61
yep,
car?
Yep. And anyway,
Yeah.
he turned around and they kind of adopted me into that trio since the Opperman was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got to learn a lot about him, and now I realize I missed out by not knowing him. Get up over here.